So welcome, Helena and Grant. My name is Carolina, and I am part of the team Create Your Way of Life. And I would like to say thank you very much for your time and willingness to share your stories with whoever is going to watch that, and with us as well, with my team. So please first introduce yourself and tell some stuff about yourself, where you live, where you're from.
Yeah, alrighty. So we're Helena and Grant. We're married. We've been together for about 8.5 years now, but we only got married in the last 12 months. We live in regional Australia currently, so in sort of southern New South Wales in Australia, and we're literally in the next month about to move up to the Gold Coast in Queensland, which is very exciting, but we can talk a bit more into that a bit later if you like. It sort of is pretty relevant to how we've made that decision basically because of how we've sort of gone through this journey over the past couple of years. So it's certainly something that we didn't think we'd be doing, but just as a result of, sort of going through this journey and being able to have a business that's online, it's really been, given us the opportunity to do things in our life that were a bit unexpected, I think, initially. So, do you sort of want to talk a bit more about us?
Well, we've been with SFM now for just under 2 years, and we're like the journey for us has just been insane. We thought we were a bit slow at the beginning. Obviously, it took us a little while to transition to this idea that wow, this is actually where we're going to take our life. We knew we loved the SFM. We knew we loved the community. We knew we loved what we were learning and the potential, I guess, that exists online. And as we started to learn more about that, we sort of got a bit more keen. But where we were at before we came across the SFM, pretty much we were just both of us in the 9 to 5 roles. I'm actually an electrician by trade. Helena's in human resource management. Mm-hmm. We both had really, really good jobs, both on the 6-figure incomes for mid-20s couple. We were on lots and lots of money. We sort of had everything that would make our parents proud, pretty much. We had the house, we had the good jobs, we were earning lots of money, we were a pretty good young couple and all that. But when we got to that point that we realised that we had everything that we wanted. Like I said, we had all the job, we had the money, we were building a house, we're sort of building a life for ourselves. We realised that we just really were not happy, and it was a really weird place to be because we thought that everything that we'd done was so good and so right. And we kind of made it. But when we got there, we were like, well, this isn't really that fun. And we don't really feel that passionate and that happy in ourselves.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that too was the fact that for the last 2.5 years of me actually working in the corporate world, I was working drive in, drive out, which essentially means 4 nights a week I was living away from home in order to work. So it meant that, for 2.5 years, 4 nights a week, I didn't see Grant. And it got to that point where I just realised that there's got to be more to life than doing this sort of job, just because, I'm getting good money from it and we're setting ourselves up. But what does that actually look like if we're not going to be spending any time together? So that was a real wake-up call for me and for us, because as we said, from the outside looking in, everything was perfect. We had good jobs and, security and, enough money to keep us going. And it was a really funny time in our life, I guess. And that was essentially the turning point when we realised that there's got to be something more out there that doesn't require us to be in our jobs, 50, 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely a bit of a lesson for a lot of people. I guess a lot of people like us that get to that point, and especially if they're younger, where they think they're doing everything right and that little voice pops into their head that you're not happy. What do you really want to do? A lot of people run from that voice because they're scared, and we're just really thankful that we didn't.
Yeah.
Super. And actually, my next question was where you were before you joined SFM. So you pretty answered this, you were seeking something absolutely different where you can spend time together. Absolutely. Yeah. So maybe share with us your journey with SFM. I'm sure you've completely transformed, or maybe not completely, but I'm sure you've transformed because it's ongoing, to be honest. We see on our team, and I see on myself, is constant growth, how to be a better person, not only in the business, but in a relationship and every aspect of your life. And it's amazing. It's amazing journey. So maybe share with us where you were when you started, and where you are now, because I know you have amazing your group, you're leading your mastermind with your members. So it's very fulfilling, very rewarding as well, and I'm sure you're doing so much more. Share with us, inspired us.
Yeah.
Okay, so where we were at when we first came across the SFM was we'd already sort of started out this journey of wanting to know more and learn more, and we knew that we were going to head down the path of business. We wanted to be business owners, and we actually, because Helena's in human resource management, we were going to start a traditional business in recruitment in our local area. And when I first came across the SFM, we were sort of in that place where Helena was just about to quit her job. To work full time on that business, and she was asking me questions like, we were engaged by that point, like, how are we going to go on a honeymoon if we've got this business to run at home, and how is that going to work? And I had no idea of the answer to that question. But when we came across the SFM, my initial what I wanted to do was just use the training to learn how to build websites, learn how to do all that stuff on the internet, and streamline our recruitment business as much as we could with the training. And it was just me who came across SFM at this point too. Helena really had nothing to do with it. That was in about August of 2016. Mm-hmm. And we basically got to the point where, I got to the point where I realised how much I really resonated with Stuart and Jay, how much I love the community, I love the training. And I thought, well, if we can figure out a way to help more individuals and business owners become aware of what's going on here with the SFM and understand that there's so much more to life than just doing things, slogging it out, doing things that you don't want. This is the perfect thing for us. And then, of course, there's an affiliate program, and we just sort of decided at that point, only like a month or two into first discovering SFM, that we really want to do it full time, and we don't want to run down the traditional business path where we're going to have heaps of overheads, heaps of employees, and trade away our time and have to pay rent on premises and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to do any of that stuff. So we realised that this is exactly what we needed, and it came to us at exactly the right time.
And I think too, like for me as an onlooker at those early stages when Grant was going through the training modules, one of the big things for me is that I realised that he was clearly learning something more than just business skills, because he started to change the way that he would approach different situations, and, even just basic communication strategies and things like that changed. And for me to be able to notice those small changes within him and just different, changes within his mindset, I realised that the training that he was going through was not simply about, the technical stuff of learning how to just move a business online or create your own digital business or anything like that. He truly was just going deeper into what is it he really wants in life? What are we trying to get out of, going into the digital economy? And so for me, that's when I started to take it a little bit more seriously, and I sort of went, okay, he's clearly really into this, more so than I think he thought when he initially came across the video series. And it was at that point where he sort of sat me down one evening and said, look, we need to have a serious conversation about what we're going to do with this traditional business, or whether we're going to just completely go straight into the digital economy. And when we sort of sat down and realized that the digital economy just had outweighed the massive benefits, we just realized that was the direction we had to head. So it was at that point that Grant said to me, coming up in December, so that would have been probably in November or so. He said, well, next month there's actually a live event that the company's running in Brisbane, so in North Queensland. And we just went, I said, oh, okay. I was like, well, a live event, that sounds great, because that way I can actually get to meet people who've gone through this training. I can meet the founders, Stu and Jay. And for me, that was just, making everything concrete. It made it real. It wasn't just Grant going through some online training. And I don't know. For me, that was just a really, really defining point. And so I attended this event with him, and I didn't know who anybody was. I'd never seen a training module. I was literally about I had no knowledge anyway about any of this. I was very green. And the conversations that I had that day and the speakers that were on stage and actually having the opportunity to meet Stu and Jay just completely turned things around for me. And I just went, righto, Grant, what can I do? How can I get involved in this and take it to the next level? So that's pretty much when I came on board. And initially I just started out doing the things that I knew, which for me was social media. So starting to get accounts and stuff set up like that while Grant was still going through the technical stuff. But just, yeah, gradually we started moving into it together, I suppose. And then, yeah, sort of fast forward a few months, and in June of 2017, I actually quit my job full-time. So started working on SFM full-time, which was a massive, massive milestone for us. And then, yeah, so fast forward 12 months now, and Grant's quitting his job in about 3 weeks from now. So pretty big changes happening, but very exciting.
Super. And tell us that, you just mentioned that you are moving now place. You're going to change the location where you're going to live. So tell us more about that, how this came up.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. This sort of taps into the whole mindset thing of why, and understanding the change that has to take place to go from that mindset of a employee to a business owner. Like when I first came into this too, I got really hyped up, as a lot of people do, about the digital economy and online business and all this stuff. Got right into it, earned money, and at the start it was all about the money. How am I going to earn money? And at that point in time, what I really wanted was to just live the exact same life, not change myself too much, have the same friends, live in the same place, just have everything basically the same, but not have to be in a job anymore. Which, as you would know for sure, like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, in order to develop yourself into the person that you need to be to achieve the results that you want, you have to change. You have to do things that are different, bust it through your comfort zones, and just completely change yourself. So at the moment, like, the house that we're in right now, which we've just sold, moving out of in like 3 weeks' time, we sort of thought that this would be like a little bit like our forever home, and that we'd stay here and everything, we'd just live happily ever after. We sort of realised that there wasn't really much growth in that for us. Also, it just timed in really, really well with other reasons for us to sell this house. It just worked out perfectly for us. And when, like, something that we've realised recently, that some of the best friends that we've got at the moment are a direct result of being a part of the SFM community. And a lot of those friends live up towards the Gold Coast. So we just sort of went, you know what, we've got this business where we can run it from wherever we want. Why not live up there for 6 months, 12 months, however long we sort of feel like, live the life, do a bit more growth in ourselves, a bit more growth in our business, hang around the right kind of people, spend some time with our friends, and just spend a lot more time like nailing down now on the business, because the both of us are going to be going full time. So that's kind of the reason we came to that decision. I don't know if you have any more to add on that.
No, I think that summed up pretty perfectly. It was just, I think probably the key message in that is that even a few months ago, when Grant first initially mentioned this idea to me, I was super resistant to it. I just shut it down straight away. And I think the main thing behind that was that I was scared. Like, I was fearful, because it's a really long,
change.
It's a really long way away in terms of distance. It's about a 14-hour drive for us to get there. So like, that was one of the things, just that unfamiliar environment. Like, I don't know, there's just a few things that sort of just built it up. And Grant often says this, but when you're approaching situations that you're fearful of, the only reason that you're fearful is because it's a new idea. It's something that you haven't had time to consciously actually talk through the logistics and the logical side of it, Whereas, for me, I know that I do respond to these sort of situations emotionally, which is why my initial reaction to that was to shut it down. So, whereas now I think I'm really more excited about the whole thing than Grant is, just because, it's that new, fresh opportunity. It's exciting. It's something we've never done before. And when you actually think about the worst case scenario for us at the moment in our current situation, it's that we both have to get jobs, like we've done in the past, like what regular people do. So we figure that's a pretty good worst case scenario to have.
Yeah, no, awesome. I love your shares. I had so many goosebumps, while you were speaking, and it's so agree with you about the live events. You know, for me as well, when I joined, I was missing this kind of connection with someone, just not doing online and clicking next button, you know, or listening webinars. And I remember when I went for my first live event in London, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I love this place. And I knew that I made the right decision to jump in and just go for it. And I love what you said about it's so important actually to hang out with people who are like-minded. And I can see like over the last 2 years as well what's happened with my old friends. It's just not that intentionally I make them go, it just happened basically. And the best friends now are actually from our community, you know. So yeah, it's amazing to hear this from you as well. So last questions, what would be your last message, you know, like for people who are listening this?
Well, definitely if they're involved with anything, but especially if they're involved with the SFM community, is just to stick around. That's probably the biggest takeaway that I've had for my whole time I've been with the SFM. The longer that you stay around, the better it gets. And
what about people who never, like for people who are seeking something new, like we just wanted to, you know, feel fulfilled. We didn't maybe exactly know what it's all about, but you just know that something needs to change in your life. What about someone who is in this space? What would you say?
Most definitely. If you feel like you're interested in something like this, it's really important to put your ego away at that point when you're thinking about, oh, I might like to try that, because straight away your ego will start putting all these excuses into your head as to why that person can do that or why you can't do that. And it's at that moment you really just need to check in on yourself and forget that. And if there's something that's interesting about what someone else is doing, or you really want to do it, then you just go and do it. You just try it. Like, the thing about the SFM that I really love is that when you get involved, you're sort of thinking about like, oh, how am I going to get out of my job? How am I going to make more money and all this stuff? But you don't have to be around very long to start, you know, once you start meeting the people, once you start understanding the community, once you start to get an idea of Stu and Jay's vision and why they're doing what they're doing, it goes so much deeper than just ever earning money. Yeah. It's such a change in lifestyle. But it's such a change in mindset and the way that you approach so many different situations. And you realize at that point how much opportunity that exists, not just in the SFM, but in the world. Once you can just, for that split second, just forget about the reasons why you think you can't do it and just step in and do it. You got nothing to lose. And I think it's just really important for people to just do that for themselves, really.
That's actually what I was going to say, is to just take that chance. You've got an opportunity and you might as well make the most of it. And like I said before, if you think about the worst case scenario and if it doesn't work out, what have you lost? Absolutely nothing. It's just a matter of, you know, being aware of that opportunity, that you can actually make a change in your life. And that's something that we really highly value, choice, and being able to have choice in our life. And that's what this has given us. It's given us that opportunity to be able to make choices in our lives, to be able to do things that we want to be doing rather than being a slave to our jobs, essentially. So, and to be honest, like at the start of this, I probably wouldn't have taken that opportunity up. And that's probably been one of my biggest lessons. And the thing that I'm probably most grateful for is that to have done this with Grant and for him to have taken that first leap into the unknown, and for me to just be there as his support initially. And then as we kept moving through it, I went, hang on a minute, this is incredible. Like I want to be a part of this. I don't want to just be here on the side. So that's sort of just how it all worked out in the end. So definitely take and make the most of the opportunities you're given.
Or just stay doing the thing that you hate and complain. Yeah. It's pretty much your choice.
And have that as your life.
Yeah. Amazing message. I've got honestly goosebumps the last 20 minutes. Amazing shares. I really love this. I so resonate with this. We see this in our community over and over again, the transformation within yourself, and this goes on every aspect of your life. Like you said, it's all about the lifestyle. It's not about anymore about money. I remember how I transit, like from say I need to now make money online because I want to quit my job, from actually inspired and empowered people to actually think what they truly love doing in life. So yeah, absolutely amazing stories. Thank you very much, Helena and Grant, for your time. It's been truly privilege for me to have this interview with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carolina. Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.